cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up, yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I
What up, world? This is FishnFrank here with Get Right Fantasy Network. We're looking at your Week 6 overreaction, Week 7 waiver wire wire ads. So, yeah, I'm excited. We had a couple good games tonight. I keep telling myself I hate these double hitters on Monday nights. I really just enjoy watching one game on Monday night and really just kind of enjoying watching that whole game. Whereas, you have to bounce back between these two games and just like you miss some stuff. I just wish they would just leave it well enough alone, I think. That's my gripe. Looking here at Week 6, capped off the week with the Sunday night games with the Buffalo Bills versus Atlanta Falcons. Bills losing to the Falcons in, a crushing fashion, really, 14-24. It's kind of an upset in a way, and I think for the Falcons, they're looking like a decent team this year, and just trying to see what's going on with the Bills and their mafia going on over there. Let me go over here some of the notable stats from this game here for the Bills. We had James Cook rush 87 yards on 17 carries. Josh Allen did 15-26, 180 yards, including 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 42 yards on 6 attempts. However, did throw 2 interceptions. So that did hurt his fantasy week there. And Dawson Knox scored a touchdown when Allen's 2 touching pass down. So those are notable ones for the Bills. For Chicago Bears, we had Bijan Robinson with the monster game with 170-yard rushing, 81-yard rushing touchdown. He had 68 receiving yards on 6 receptions for his total of 238 total yards from scrimmage. That's a single game total, second highest single game total this season. He also matched his career high of 170 rushing yards. So, monster game from Bijan Robinson. Drake London had a really good game as well. Caught 10 passes, 158 yards, and a touchdown. He and Robinson accounted for nearly 400 of the Falcons, 443 offensive yards. So it's literally them and 43 other yards from somebody else here. We have Michael Penix went for 20 of 32, 250 yards and a touchdown. And then you had Tyler Algier here, his first touchdown, the 21-yard touchdown. So he's still being a good chase of pace guy there for Robinson. And this was Michael Penix's first Monday night football debut, so he got the win in on that. Good for him. Then we had the Washington Commanders at 24 versus Chicago Bears 25, the second game, which was really close. I mean, that was a good game down to the last second. Obviously, you could tell by 1 point differential here. On the Washington side, the notables Joe Corey, Krosky, Merritt, Bill there. He had a strong performance, 111 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns on 14 carries, adding 39 yards from 2 receptions. So he did very well there. Jaden Daniels went through for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns, also adding 52 rushing yards on 10 carries. So really good outing there, averaging about 19 points per game this season. Deebo Samuel, despite the Hilly injury, he led the Commanders with wide receivers with the offensive snaps. Recorded 8 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey recorded another touchdown this week, 33 yards and a touchdown. He's coming out as a viable option here. And then we got Ertz also got a 6-yard touchdown. So those are 3 touchdowns that Jaden Daniels threw right there with those guys. On the Bears side, we had DeAndre Swift. Breakout performance, man. Recorded 108 rushing yards, 14 carries, 67 receiving yards, and a touchdown, and on 2 receptions on that. And this first 300-yard game of the season, including a 55-yard receiving touchdown. So really good game for DeAndre Swift. We had Rome Odunze, still continue a good start. 2 passes for 32 yards, not much there. Caleb Williams threw for 211 yards on 3 touchdowns. And then we had DJ Moore going 3 catches for 42 yards. So they did get the win. So that's the important part. And then we got the Bills. Oh, we already did the Bills part. So that was the Bears. So yeah, that's the Monday night recap there. Let me go into some notable things going on. Hey, who's out there this weekend? Who's talking? Who's watching here tonight? I know it's kind of later. We had to get into these games here. But let's take a look here. We kind of reacted over here for those games. I had a couple other notes about this week here coming up. Baker Mayfield, he's looking strong. He's solidified his position. Might be getting some talks about the MVP talk here, including he had a good strong plays this weekend, including a clutch run and a deep touchdown pass. The Buccaneers are now 5-1. So looking like Super Bowl contenders, but he's got a lot of injuries over there, including Mike Evans and Mecca Buka, which we'll get to in a second here. And so we'll look at what they got going on. That was against the 49ers. It was a good game. The Bengals shows continue, although we had a Joe Flacco debut this weekend. Didn't turn out quite right for the Bengals, just having a 4th consecutive loss. But he did have a good connection with Jamar Chase. So have to look at those numbers. They look pretty good on that part. So, Panthers here coming up next, showing signs of life. Back-to-back victories for the first time. They beat my Cowboys, unfortunately. Rico Dowdle's looking really good. He's the first Cowboy to rush, first guy to rush 100 yards against the Cowboys in like forever. So he had 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he looking good. If you got him, I'm not sure how it's going to look when Chuba Hubbard comes back, but he's right now you got to start him. So yeah, those are just some of the notable things I want to mention. Another strong performance from Drake May. The Chiefs regroup, so they're looking good. They got a good win over the Detroit Lions. And Rashee Rice is going to be coming back here also. So you're feeling strong about that because it's going to be week 7 now. So yeah, those are some of the, just kind of things we got to react to this weekend coming up, what's happened over the weekend. So let me know if you guys got any questions. Throw them in the chat. We'll start discussing some of the guys. Kind of want to get to here, just kind of do the week 6 injuries coming up here. Just kind of went over the news points. I'll get to the week 7 top waiver wire ads for basically 65% owned or more, and then we just do some live Q&A at the end. Really quick, I just kind of want to mention what we got going on during the week here for you guys, and our basically content that we have week in, week out. So Tuesdays we have Phil with the extra point. On Wednesdays we got myself doing the roster management buy sell trade show. On Fridays we got the sit start and Q&A. And then Sunday morning, we got Mike doing the active inactive. So please do like and subscribe. Check us out. We got this content coming at you every just almost every day here, So check us out. We got different guys, coming in here. Waiting to see if we got Dylan coming in, but unfortunately he's not going to make it tonight. So maybe next week here. So we do have super chats. So if you feel inclined to support the show, we'll definitely spend more time on your, question. And as always, join our Discord channel if you want more. Just ask your questions, have trade talks, waiver wire talks, everything else going on the Discord. So join our Discord as well. But the super chats are most appreciated here. Let's start looking into what we got going on during the week here, and our buys and the injuries here. So coming up here, we got week 7, Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills on a bye. But I did want to mention week 8 because week 8's like basically a bye NATO. So you might want to start looking ahead now, just due to so many people on bye in week 8. We got the Cardinals, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Rams, and Seattle Seahawks. So all those teams are going to be on a bye on week 8. So I thought I'd mention it now, so you could like kind of move your roster around, move it to week 8, so see who you need, because you may want to pick them up now in week 7 and basically be prepared for who you need in week 8, so that you're not missing out on the boat when times comes for the waiver wire and you got guys on the bye week here. We got a Thursday night matchup coming up with Pittsburgh Steelers and Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Flacco doing his thing again. As I mentioned, he stepped in and completed a 10 passes for 94 yards to Jamar Chase. So hopefully that continues here this next week, although a tough matchup there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it is a Thursday night game. Maybe it comes out a little bit better. Let's see what happens on that part of it. So let's go into the injuries here. You guys got any questions here? You guys got a couple guys watching, being quiet in the chat there. Usually I have a number of guys already saying what's up and or at least commenting about some of these games. So let's get some stuff going on, guys. We got injuries coming up here. Emeka Buka, he suffered a hamstring against the 49ers. He's expected to miss some time, so it wasn't serious. With Mike Evans also doing a hamstring injury, Chris Godwin dealing the fibula issue. It looks like the receiving core is very depleted. So as you guys seen on our thumbnail, we got Sterling Shepard, who could see increased targets. So check him out. I'm gonna give up some numbers here for him later on. Puka Nacua here with the Rams, injured his ankle and is expected to miss some time as well. Potentially including week 7 game in London. So this could lead to more targets for Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams. Marvin Harrison Jr. went down also. He suffered a concussion against the Colts. So his status is uncertain. Trey McBride, looking at a more reliable option over there for the Cardinals passing game. Harrison is out. So, Trey McBride numbers should be going up as well. We got Calvin Ridley exited the week 6 game against the Raiders with a hamstring injury. So he's expected to miss some time. Garrett Wilson also went down. He suffered a knee injury at the Broncos game, and he's just expected, not expected to rush back. He could make the Jets' receiving options less desirable in fantasy. So, we got to take a look at that, because I have a couple of options of Garrett Wilson, and he definitely stands out. So we got to see what we could replace him with. David Njoku, he suffered a knee injury against the Steelers. Not sure how bad it is, but Harold Fanning Jr. did get a boost, and he had a good game. So we get to talk to him here in the waiver wire pickups. Trey Benson was placed on IR for at least 2 weeks. So Michael Carter was up, and as well as Bam Knight. And we're going to get to Bam Knight here later on. And then again, Marion Hampton was placed on our last week. And we'll get to Kamani Badal. He's the one that came out looking like the winner against Hassan Haskins. He already had the second year anyways. I was thinking, should have done better, went with him, but who knows? It was a crapshoot at that point. Other notable injuries: Lamar Jackson expected to return after the week 7 bye. So again, next week they're having a bye. Kyler Murray week 6 all of a sudden with the foot injury. Jacoby Brissett started in his place. We got Brock Purdy missing week 6 with the toe injury. Mac Jones started in his place against Schuba Hubbard going down. Rico Dowdle blowing it up. Bucky Irving missed week 6. We have Rashad Wright taking the ball carries. CeeDee Lamb still down with an actual ankle sprain, but expected to return in week 7. So hopefully CD is back and better than ever. Terry McLaurin ruled out for week 6 due to quad injury. Noah Brown ruled out for week 6 due to joint injury. So this was just a lot of guys still going down. Lastly, I want to mention Miles Sanders was placed on IR with the knee and ankle injuries, ending his season. So Jaden Blue is up now. He'll be the backup to Javonte Williams. He hasn't done very well, but you always want to get that backup and handcuff. You could start getting some plays here and there just to spell Javonte Williams. And hopefully maybe he does better than that, because he was a draft candidate this year, and we were taking a look at him. So, those are the injuries for this week. Hopefully you guys aren't dying out as well over there. So we got Aiden in here. He's got some questions going on. So I'm going to get you in 1 second, brother. Let me take a look at this. First, I want to pay real quick bills since I'm on a roll here. I want to talk about our guys here at Underdog Fantasy. Yeah, and we got the Trophy Fact Smack logo up here right now. So let me change that thing to Underdog Fantasy here. It's a place to play fantasy football here. We do all their best ball tournaments, draft tournaments during the off season. We've streamed them live, but right now we're in the pick'em contest. And you simply pick higher or lower on player stats like total yards and touchdowns. You got to use promo code GetRight. This month they have what they call the Boostober, so promos every day in October. So you got to check them out. That's literally just a different option every day. Currently, if you use the promo, it says it's play 5 get 100, not just 50. It's 100. So use our code GetRight. I mean, I'm telling you, it's all multiple promos available in the app. So check out underdogfantasy.com. Again, use promo code GetRight on that. So yeah, let's take a look at the top waiver wires. But before I do that, as I mentioned, I want to get to your comment, Idion here. Let's check it out here. So he's got quarterback Drake May, Justin Herbert. He's got running backs Gibbs, Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, and Rico Dowdle. It's a nice set of running backs here. Chase Brown's just been dud this year, though. Wide receiver, we got JSN killing it. Ladd had a touchdown this weekend. Ricky Pearsall injury. Rashee Rice coming back for you here. I wouldn't call him IR. He's suspended. But Travis Hunter, Keon Coleman, Kendrick Bourne. Nice waiver wire pickup. And we got Tucker Kraft. Very good tight end. It's 12-man full PPR. Thoughts, please? So, yeah. Let's take a look at here. Oh, we got Ross in the house. What up, man? Tough loss for me in our home league. Ran into a buzzsaw. Yes, he did. Into the last place guy. Unfortunately, that happens. But yeah, now I'm talking about Aiden here real quick. Sorry, man. I just got sidetracked. You can see my boy on here. But yeah, Drake May. I'm rocking with Drake May. I like Justin Herbert. Loving the wide receiving team that you got going on. I think that you could move on Chase Brown, but it's very hard to get anything for him, even in this performance. He didn't really do much this past weekend. Let me look up his stats. This guy has an opportunity right now, now that they moved Joe Flacco over there, and you'd think that he would be better, but he ended up with 42 yards on and caught 2 passes for 7 yards. So still just not much from Chase, dude, and it's tough. He was a pretty high draft pick, and he's been a dud so far this year. He's coming up against Pittsburgh next, then the Jets, and then Chicago. They got a Week 10 bye, so that's somebody I would try to move on. You got a lot of pieces here. JSN, solid. Ladd, Ricky Pearsall again, with that injury. Rashee Rice coming back from suspension, so you're doing good. Travis Hunter's doing all right. Kendrick Bourne, he's a good option right now while Ricky's down. And Keon Coleman's, hit or miss here and there. He's had some solid games. Very solid team, man. Especially 12-team PPR. I think that other than Chase Brown, you're doing good, man. You just got to play your matchups and set it up properly. He's like, I have the number 1 waiver, and I can get Vidal. I don't know who to drop, and because I need to get a ride of someone because Rice is coming back. Oh, you got to get rid of someone because that's where he was holding Rice. Because he shouldn't have been able to hold Rice in the IR spot just because he's suspended. By the way, my feelings, because I've had people do that in our league, and that's not what the IR is for. It's for actually injured players. He's a suspended player, which is different. Just key point there. Should you get Kamani Vidal? I mean, he's going to be starting. I wouldn't be afraid or scared to drop Chase Brown just to improve my running back room. As far as your wide receiving room, I would say Kendrick Bourne is the last one because he's doing good now, and obviously Ricky's coming back, and basically, why would you start 2 wide receivers on the same team? And again, you probably want to keep Ricky over Bourne. So I would say that's the next guy that you would have to be dropping there. You know, Anthony's said, "I'll wait on Brown." I'm not. I'm ready to drop him. I don't think he's like. And he's saying that I wouldn't use the number one waiver wire on Vidal. Chargers looking for a running back, but maybe Vidal earned it. Yeah, I'm not afraid to drop him. But again, to the point of the question here, it really you still need to drop somebody just to get Rashee Rice out of IR. So I would say Kendrick Bourne, just because you already got Ricky. Anyways, and I wouldn't start two wide receivers in the same team. Anthony's on that too. I'm a Brown still. I still can't believe it. He was my second round pick, and I feel you, bro. I feel you. Maybe that's why I said trade him off or something. He was my two. He's like, you can't give up yet. He's just making TDs. Yeah, well, when is he gonna get him? How long is it gonna take? I guess he's a bench guy. If he's a bench guy, he's tradable to me. He's almost droppable to me. Like I'd move on. I'm ready to move on. I got him on the team, man. Send me on a trade offer. You can take him off my hands. Yeah, and then he'll be good soon. I hope too. Yeah, he should be good. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm not waiting on Chase Brown. Let's see. Talking about running backs, since we were just on that subject, Kamani Vidal on the Chargers, 44% owned after Amari Hampton's high ankle sprain. Vidal accommodated the backfield touches, 18 carries for 124 yards and a touchdown. So he's this week's top waiver wire priority for RB1 workload. As long as Hampton's out, really. So let's see when Hampton comes back. It's got a couple weeks to go, I'd imagine. At least he solidified as a start because Haskins was in the way. He made sure that people knew he's the guy. The next guy up we got here is Bam Knight with the Cardinals, 51% owned with Trey Benson on IR. And Michael Carter was leading the backfield here by committee, but he saw the red zone touchdowns in week 6. So, Bam Knight went for 11 carries, 34 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 reception for 20 receiving yards. So he's basically an RB3 or a flex option. He still is behind Michael Carter. But if you're, looking for a running back, so there's cares out there, that's a guy to have. We got Tajay Spears again, 33% owned. He went 11 touches for 61 yards. And he's still just a valuable handcuff there. You want to keep him because he's just right behind starter Tony Pollard. Then we got Jaden Blue, I mentioned earlier, with Miles Sanders being placed IR. Jaden Blue would be the primary back of Javonte Williams. So he's worth, at least stashing the deeper leagues, or, if you're, hurting, it wouldn't be a bad pick up and have on your roster at some point. Moving on to the wide receivers. We were just talking about this guy, Kendrick Bourne, 49ers, 32% owned. He could take top targets from Mac Jones, 142 yards for a second straight week. But again, he's basically a must start until Ricky Pearsall, Kittle returns. Jawan Jennings is still doing some things over there. We haven't even seen. I can't even think of the other guy's name. The other wide receiver who got injured last year. I can't even think of his name right now. I wouldn't touch him anyways because he's just on my do not touch list because I drafted him last year. You also got Josh Downs this week. He went 49% owned. He's went 5 receptions, 5 targets, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns this week. Again, only 49% owned over there with the Colts. The Colts have been, putting up some very good games this season. Hopefully, he can keep that up. He got the favorable matchup against the Chargers with their depleted secondary week 7. So, and if you need a smart start due to these bye weeks or due to injuries, some guy to look at here. Trey Tucker comes up on the radar again over there at the Raiders, 58% owned. So people have been holding on to him. 50 receiving yards on 4 of 6 games in a viable flex option. He did 5 receptions for 5 targets, 70 yards this past week. So he seems to be the top guy over there with the Raiders. Not much to say there, but I mean, if you need a guy, you got a guy. Sterling Shepard, Buccaneers, 22% owned. Again, because I mentioned all those injuries to Mike Evans. Puka Nacua now got hurt. Chris Godwin. So Shepard should see 14% target share in week 6. And so hopefully get some volume there. He didn't get much in this game. It was 2 receptions, 3 targets, 51 yards. At least some solid numbers there. Ayuk, that's who it is. That's who it is. I couldn't think. Brandon Ayuk. That's the other guy there at the 49ers who should be coming back soon. So that's why, Kendrick Bourne is kind of like a 1-week start till these guys come back, because what's going on with that. But what up, Warrior Loft? How we doing, brother? He's coming in. What do you guys think of Commander Vidal running back for the next 4 weeks? Is he legit? It's the second season, third season. I think I don't even remember how many seasons he's in. But I like him. I would, trust him to spot start over there. Let's see. I got to look at his seasons here. Yeah, it's the second season here. And it's probably why he's doing a little bit better than Haskins. I think he's legit. I think he's a spot start, flex option, bye week guy. And you can start him for a while, but Omari Hampton will be back. So you just gotta ride it for as long as that happens, right? They got an easy matchup with the Finns. They're coming up. Coming matchups will be tough. You got spot start, short window to use that guy in. So maybe what's his name was asking about. Anthony was talking about don't use the number 1 waiver wire on Vidal. Maybe that's the reason, but again, I still stand by my words. I wouldn't care about Chase Brown. I'm done with that guy. Throw him away. Let's see. We got to look at some quarterbacks here this week. We got Jackson Dart, Giants 29% owned. This rookie keeps averaging consistent fantasy numbers on his legs, averaging 56 rushing yards and 10 carries per game over the last 3 starts. This last week against the Eagles, he went 17 to 25, 195 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 13 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. So he's doing, rushing work. So if you need a wide receiver for bye weeks and things like that, somebody to look at. I got Sam Darnold, also Seahawks, 35% owned. Throw multiple touchdowns in 4 of the last 5 games, and is top 5 fantasy quarterback this season. He's a must-have start where available. So look at him at 295 yards and 2 touchdowns this last week against the Jaguars. And we got Bryce Young, who had a really good performance. I think it's just a Cowboys bump, as some of these guys have been talking about, because the Cowboys defense just sucks this year. So he had a very good performance. He threw 3 touchdowns against Dallas. So, it's tough. But, again, with bye weeks and, players going down, he's somebody to take a look at it. CJ Stroud here, week 6. He's got a bye here. So he's about 35 to 40, 51% owned. So you may want to take a look at him here as well. So those are the guys that we have here for the quarterbacks. Let's check out the chat, see what we got going on. Matchup, got the Finns, got Ayuk. All right, so we got everything covered up so far. Good stuff. Let's see. So we got some matchup-based streaming options. I threw some people in here because I was just throwing some thoughts together. Trevor Lawrence here, Jacksonville Jaguars, 21 and 49% owned. Week 6 stats against the Seahawks: 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. We had 2 straight games with over 19 fantasy points. Faces the Rams in London in week 7. Could be a viable matchup-based starter type guy. Jacoby Brissett also. He just got the start over. I can't even think of this guy's name. Kyler Murray. Sorry. So his week 6 stats, 2.17 fantasy points. But he's facing a tough matchup against the Packers in week 7. So would be very tough to start him in that spot, because Packers do have a very good pass rush now with Michael Parsons over there and the other guys. I mean, they propelled themselves into the number one spot here. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Last guys on the waiver wire that we're going to be talking about is tight ends. We had a great performance for Harold Fanning Jr. now. Basically broke out week 6 with 7 catches for 81 yards on 10 targets, especially after David Njoku left with the knee injury. And if he misses some time, Fanning could just be the immediate guy. He's been on the waiver wire a couple of times, but since, David Njoku is still over there, he was a good late pickup, or waiver wire guy, basically somebody to draft late here for tight ends. But now it looks like Harold Fanning Jr. may get the start and maybe run away with the starting job. He went 5 receptions, 7 targets, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Mason Taylor, Jets, 34% owned. Targets could increase here with Garrett Wilson missing some time with the knee injury. He had 1 target, just 2 receiving yards here in this last game. But again, due to Garrett Wilson's injury, he might get some uptick here. Let's see who else we got. I picked up Cade Otton here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 12% owned here. He did have five receptions on 6 targets for 51 yards. And again, with all these injuries that they have over there at the receiving court with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Mika Buka, Otton get some catches here for Baker Mayfield. He's been that spot start guy for him, so that's somebody I'm looking at there. Let's see defensive stream options. Basically, we got the Seahawks at 49% owned. They're going to face the Houston Texans week 7, and they've been struggling on offense here. We got the Browns at 38% owned. They will face the Miami Dolphins, who coming off disappointing loss. And then we got the Bears who face New Orleans, who have struggled with offense as well. So this is a spot start. The defenses there. Low ownership percentages as well. So we got any other questions here in the chat? I kind of went through all the waiver wire pickups here. I'll get the short out this week here shortly. Sorry I got a late start here today, but watching some of the football games, I had to get some notes in here for you guys to get all these guys that we're talking about tonight. All kinds of major injuries, as I was mentioning here earlier. And with these bye weeks coming up, you got to keep an eye on these guys. So hopefully we get people back. But, I know I heard that Mika Buka's injury wasn't too bad. So that's good. We got to see what happens with Puka Nacua as well. Marvin Harrison, hopefully he comes out of that concussion protocol. Calvin Ridley should miss some weeks. Garrett Wilson down as well. So there's a lot of wide receivers have gone down. Hopefully you're prepared for that. And again, with Trey Benson and Amari Hampton down, we got Kamada Vidal coming up and Bucky Irvin here. And he's missing week 6 shoulder injury, foot injury. So Rashad White's getting the start here. Hopefully CeeDee Lamb comes back here week 7. It does well. So let's check these guys out. Yeah. Let's see. 3P ones. I can't even read what is Packers D droppable after that performance. No, I would not say that. No, I mean every team has a bad day, but they have a really good pass rush. Like I said, they got a Super Bowl contending team at this point, and I would not be dropping them. It happens, man. It happens. Hopefully better days ahead for those guys. It got 21 guys here out watching. Hopefully we get some likes and subscribes. Anybody got any Q&A time? Just it's time to put in your questions here. Just kind of killing some time so we could talk about some of these waiver wire pickups that you guys may have any questions on. Who your favorite guy is to go for. I'm basically looking at some of these wide receivers for weeks here. In Kendrick Bourne, Josh Downs, Trey Tucker. Possibly in that order. Again, Kendrick Bourne has the shortest lifespan because once some of these other 49 receivers come back, he's just going to fade into the background. Trey Tucker's been putting up some decent numbers. It's just going to be hit and miss because he's on the Raiders. Sterling Shepard, do all the injuries there at the Buccaneers. Somebody to take a look at as well. Kayshon Boutte, I don't know if you mentioned that guy. He's 11% owned. So he had a really resurgent game week 6 with 2 touchdowns. He had the stats: 5 receptions, 5 targets, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Keyshawn Boutte. Only 11% owned over there in the Patriots. I think I did mix them all together. So yeah, hit me up, guys. Let's talk about these things. Let's hit me up on. Let's see. Wednesday we're going to do the waiver wire show, trade, whatnot here. As I mentioned, we got all the guys here. Hopefully we got to update this list. I forgot to tell Mike about this little logo thing because fortunately we don't have the fantasy boardroom anymore. We do have the fantasy football tavern there, and we got Phil doing the extra point here tomorrow, but fantasy boardroom till further notices. We'll be back maybe at some point. Never know what happens here. So I appreciate you guys being on here this week. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll get the short out here for a second. And let's start talking some trades here on Wednesday. They do the buy sell trade show. So yeah, peace out, guys. We'll see you.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So going